Pretty sure this is the first time we've been in the same room with you since you've been drafted. I wish we weren't in masks, but even though we're vaccinated, they're making us do it, so.
It's all good. I'm sure your smile looks amazing.
It's nice to see you in person.
Thank you.
AJ, Aaron mentioned that you were working on your hands this offseason. Was there anything in particular you were doing, or just catching as many balls as possible?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Obviously, last year was my first year really getting involved in the pass game, just in practice and with the offense we have. So over the offseason, I made it a point to really get on the jugs when I had time, when people weren't here, or like when Kurt Benkert came back right before training camp. We just caught a couple balls, worked on a little bit of routes. And, I just want to get, more fluid. It's definitely a part of my game that I want to keep developing and, keep getting better at. So the more I do it, the better I'll get.
We talked to you a little bit in June, I guess, during mini camp. And outside of the obvious, the tangible stuff, the differences with the world right now as opposed to last year, what's different about your mindset and how you approach training camp number 2?
Yeah, I definitely say, just being a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more confident. Obviously, understanding the playbook, knowing the guys in the team, having friendships and relationships with players and the coaches and just, Green Bay in general. Obviously, we got fans back in whatever capacity we can for right now. So, I start off my practice, waving at everybody, seeing everybody so excited to get us back out there. And so, it's uplifting. And then you have them out at the field, and you can hear them talking, saying Quadzilla, and it gets you excited. And that's a part of football and sports. I feel like every athlete, and even the fans miss, just kind of that interaction. So, I'm just excited, and just it's an awesome experience here too.
Going from
good.
A rookie with an uncertain role, you're uncertain what your role is going to be, to knowing you're going to have a much more defined role this year.
Yeah, nothing's promised. There's no set 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's what training camp's about. But I'm out here every day working to be the best player I can be for the team in whatever capacity that is. I always step on the field, and I feel like everybody does. You get out there, and you're not expecting to be number 2, 3, whatever. You go out there and prepare to be number 1, because if your number's going to be called and if my number's called, I want to be ready. So, I just go out there every day and make sure I'm crossing my T's, dotting my I's, and, developing every day.
AJ, how much do you think this whole process as a player has helped you, though, compared to last year where you're doing the virtual thing?
Yeah.
You have the ramp-up period. I know, obviously, in season there was some stuff, too. Just in terms of just getting your feet wet and just feeling comfortable, what does this do to having something a little bit more normal?
Yeah, I definitely, like I said, that comfortableness, that confidence, back to normal routine, a little bit more fan interactions. It really feels like football. If not having people there, not having fans there, kind of felt a little disconnected. As long as I've ever played, even in Pop Warner, I had like my aunts and uncles out there. I've always had somebody, and it just provides that, like, oh yeah, I'm really doing this, and this is my first time ever experiencing it. Last year, obviously, I was in the NFL, but when I go out and we play our first game, our first preseason game, I'm gonna run out in the full pack stand for the first time, and so I'm just eager, and that excitement hasn't gone away. I'm still looking forward to, what's new, what's going on.
In that regard, playing the preseason games with fans, is that going to be kind of a help prepare you? Because I know the playoffs you have played with some spectators, but for the most part, you just played NFL games in empty stadiums. Will it help getting that routine of playing the preseason games with crowds?
Yeah, I guess, obviously I can't really speak on it because I haven't played in a full pack when everybody's yelling and roaring, so I don't know. I can't really comment on how that affects the game because I haven't experienced it in the NFL yet. But, I've been playing in front of people and in front of crowds for a long time. It's more just, getting that feel and getting that energy. The crowd, as an athlete, you feed off the energy, and, it's really contagious. So I'm looking forward to it.
We all know how close Aaron and Jamal Williams were, and I know what you think you guys can do as a tandem on the field, but what's it like? I'm sure you're not just trying to replace his best buddy off the field, but what's that relationship like with you and Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron and Jamal had a great relationship that, that speaks for itself. And I was lucky enough to, come in last year and have them both take me under their wing and treat me like a little brother. That's the role I felt like I felt in last year. you know, whether it was football, whether it was, you know, just getting a place or figuring out where to eat or, you know, setting up my grill, like, you know, things like that, like they helped me, or playing video games with Jamal, you know, just things like that. And so now, obviously Jamal's not here, but, you know, I'm still in contact with him. We still talk. He's a, you know, great friend, big brother, if you will. And then, you know, obviously I have Aaron here, and we had OTAs, and we're hanging out and we're having a good time. But it's definitely not anything to do with replacing at all. I mean, I think those two have a great connection still, and, you know, I'm just happy to be a part of that, you know, friendship.
How do you do that with Kylan?
Yeah, you know, Kylan's awesome. You know, obviously Aaron is the vet in the room. He's been around, done this, knows the offense really well. But just, you know, whenever I can, you know, help him out with like a little thing, just like a little bit of footwork, whatever. Or if he makes a bad play, you know, just encourage him. You know, hey, like, I made mistakes. Like, I've not done this, I've done that. Like, it's part of growing. And so, you know, I feel like being the rookie last year really can relate to what he's going through now. But, you know, he's doing awesome. And, you know, it's really cool to just see his growth, even from OTAs to training camp. And, you know, he's an awesome kid. And, you know, I'm looking forward to that running back room, man. We're special.
On a scale of 1 to...
EJ, you had, it was just 4 touches in the NFC Championship game, but you had like 30 yards combined.
Yeah.
Did that do anything for you, you know, coming out of this year? Was there anything that meant to you?
Yeah, you know, once again, confidence. Confidence is big. I feel like definitely in football. And, you know, I got to the point, and me having never really been a backup before last year in any, like, really, like, in my entire life, it was a really cool experience. Like, once I, like, understood, it was a really cool experience because I understand now that every single rep I had to give everything I had. So, yeah, I had 4 carries and 30 yards, whatever. It's not astronomical, but in those carries, I was trying to get as many yards as I could, trying to make it really count, help out the team as much as I could. And so I feel like last year kind of just taught me the importance of each rep, each opportunity, and that's something I'm gonna, you know, hold on to throughout my career.
AJ, you've come to really embrace Wisconsin. You're super tuned in locally, you know, maybe considering a run for Door County mayor. Some people would not call this a vacation destination. Why do you love it here?
Yeah, you know, I'm not considering. I'm definitely going to run for mayor. My goal, when it's all said and done, I'm done playing football, I want to key to Door County, at least Fish Creek, something like that. But you know, I just really enjoy it. When I first got here, I always tell this story. I got drafted day 2 last year, so I think that was like April 26th or something like that. I moved straight out here 4 days later, a day before my birthday. Had no furniture, knew nobody out here, but I posted on my Instagram that I was here, and I had people offering me lasagna, this food, all types of stuff. And I'm from the city. Like, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna take people's food, you know. But it speaks to the type of people you have here and the type of fans that we have here. Like, they're willing to go above and beyond, and they really care. And it's not. I don't know how to say it. It's not aggressive. Like, I'll go to the store and I'll see people will know who I am, but they'll be like, hurry up and, you know, pay. You know, it's just it's a great culture that we have here, and it's, you know, more than just football, and I enjoy being here. You know, I left for 2 months. Right after the season, I came back, stayed after OTAs, obviously up in Door County all the time, but, you know, I really do love it, and trying to embrace you know, get my Wisconsinite badge. You know, it's a goal of mine.
Bailey's Harbor's where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, they got AC Tap, the best wings in America.
So at the very end of practice, that last period, toward the end of it, you and Marcos were talking route running. What was that conversation, and what brought that on?
Yeah, so a little bit before that, I had run a Texas route in one of our, one of our periods. I was running a Texas route. The ball didn't come to me, but I just kind of realized I was taking a couple extra steps there, and Quez was obviously on the side. I was like, hey, just like, how do you come out of your breaks? You know, we have so many vets on our team, so many guys that can do things at a high level, and it'd be a shame to not try to be a sponge and ask for little nuggets here and there. So Quez was there, and I was like, hey, I ran this Texas route, and I felt, you know, I was kind of stuck. Like, how do you, when you're making turns, when you're trying to stop on a dime, like, what is the process of that? And so obviously it's not going to happen overnight, but he just kind of gave me a little tutelage on where you want your foot placed, how you want to come out, how you want to drop your weight. And so, it's something like talking about the pass game. I'm going to keep working on that, keep working on route running. There's so many parts of my game. I've always wanted to be an all-purpose back, want to be able to do it all. And so, whatever part of my game I can get a little bit better, I'm going to try to do.
I've never run a Texas route. What is it?
It's kind of like you go to the flat, and then it's kind of like this, like a triangle. You go out this way and come back that way.
Speaking
I
of
feel like
being,
it can be the best 1-1 thunder and lightning punch in all football.
Yeah, man, why not? Why limit ourselves, man? I mean, we go out to work every day, and, the rest will take care of itself. But, as far as, ability and just the way we think in that room, we always think that we can get anything done. So best or whatever, we're going to do it every day, every Sunday, Thursday, Monday, any day.
AJ, I know it's not like you've had a ton of wear and tear in the NFL, but you had almost 300 rushes per season at Boston College. Last year, I think you were under 50. Does that help this season, coming in more fresh, not having a 300, rush season last year? And are you, a little more energized, ready to go this year?
Yeah, I don't know. Kind of, it's like, I had those 300-yard carries or 300 carries a year at Boston College, but I still put up the yards. It wasn't like my production reduced when I had those carries. Yeah, I had 1,000 yards each year, so it's not. I don't think. I don't know. My body feels good, and I'm just excited.
Is it fair to say you and Jordan are really good friends? Is that a fair characterization?
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, yeah.
So obviously, there's all the excitement that Aaron's back, and everybody's writing about it, talking about it. How have you watched him go through this process as his friend? Because he seems, again, we haven't met him yet either, but from the outside looking in, he seems to have really done a good job of staying even keeled through. What has kind of been your experience with him?
Yeah, so we're in the same agency, Athletes First, and so before the draft, we had the chance to prep for the combine and all those things. Then we got drafted to the same place. You know the story. But one of the first things I noticed about him is he is a very even keel guy, and more so than me. He, like, even before the draft, like, I was like, hey, like, what, are you excited? He's just like, yeah, I'm good. Like, what happens. I'm gonna go out there and do my job. And so, I think it's really cool from a friend perspective, just to see him, obviously getting out there in OTAs, just having fun with it, getting more comfortable. And then now he's, getting snaps, and the twos are in or whatever the case is. And, he's having fun with it, smiling and having a good time. So it's always good to see your friend in any capacity, having a good time and enjoying what they do.
AJ, this team has a lot of high expectations for this year. You have high expectations too, coming off a successful rookie year. There's been a lot of talk about mental health in sports. How do you personally handle pressure?
Yeah, mental health is definitely a huge thing in sports, life, whatever. And, I kind of started to realize that, just getting ready for the draft, that's up to that point the biggest time. Or we had the combine my year, so getting ready for the combine was like the biggest thing. And I'm like, dang, I've got to make sure I get this star right on this 40, this and that. So, I started to do, a little bit more meditation. I have like the Calm app on my phone and on my TV, and I try to, get in doing that every day and journal twice a week. Certain things like that I think is really important, because, negativity breeds doubt, and from there it's just a downward spiral. So, I'm not perfect at it, and there's still times like most people, you get into your head, but I feel like the more you can kind of keep yourself, not too high, too low, but you can keep yourself just right there, you're going to be golden. So, I've just been trying my best. It's another part of my craft and trying to work on the mental part.
So when you're in 11-11, when you're in 11-11 or in a game, do you try and play calm and cool? As a thinking player, do you ever play with anger or?
Yeah, well, in a game, it's a little different. Definitely not. My mental, like, as far as like what I'm doing, calm, but I play, my style's a little aggressive. But I wouldn't say angry. Like, I'm not like hot-headed, like making mistakes. It's more just like, as a running back, I don't want to get tackled. I don't want to get touched. I want to just keep going and run through you and over you, around you. So, the game is a little different, but, with everything else and, as crazy as everything can get, trying to stay right here is perfect for me.
AJ, you talked about wanting to do it all. How's the Lambeau Leap training coming?
You know, so I did a stadium tour. My family came out here. I did a stadium tour, and we're going around. My mom comes out, and I stand next to it, and I'm like, "You see, it's pretty tall. It's pretty tall." And I had snow and no fans, but I'm not making excuses. It's not part of who we are. So I just know that I'm looking forward to it, and all help is it's encouraged if I'm up there. Go ahead, you know, it's all good.
You talk about how your body feels good. Does it feel different physically having come off a year where you didn't have all those carries and all those hits on your body? And did you have to do anything different this offseason for training purposes, just because of how different that was?
Yeah, honestly, not really. You know, I've been blessed this far, knock on wood. I've been blessed to, you know, be pretty good and whatever. We're not even going to talk about injuries, and so I just think I focus a lot more on recovery. Obviously, this offseason, having, like I said, all these vets we have are like a wealth of knowledge. And I see guys who've been playing 16 years, 8 years, 9 years, whatever, and they're like, got to get in the cold tubs, got to do this, got to book my massage. So I'm just like, you know, if they're doing it, they must know something, right? So, you know, I definitely paid a lot more attention on after my workout, taking care of my body, eating a little bit better, things like that.
All right, thank you. We're going to go one question from Zoom, Katie.
All right, go ahead, Chris Roth.
Hey, you mentioned that you learned the value of each rep last year, and they talked about your workload in college. Some running backs, they need a lot of work to go from 0 to 40, if you will, 0 to 60. I'm wondering if you learned anything about that, if you were a guy like that before, and now you learned that maybe you don't have to get yourself lathered up, if you will, and productive right out of the gate with fewer options.
Yeah, you know, last year, obviously, it's no secret I didn't get as many carries as I did previous years at Boston College. But as far as, you know, getting those reps, you know, that did teach me a lot about just going ahead and going full throttle. So, you know, those carries, whatever it was, 1 carry, 2 carries, I taught myself to be able to get there. You know, I didn't need to, you know, sit and wait around because now I know the value of getting those carries, how much it means, and like what, like if I'm out there, the team trusts me to get the job done. So I can't be like, oh, well, I only got 1, da. You know, there's no room for that. You got to go out there and do your job. And so, you know, I'm just looking forward to, you know, as many carries as I get, whatever it is, going out there and making the most of those opportunities.